Hey there everyone, Trader Tim from eMini Mind bringing you a trade recap video for the week. Pretty much things went exactly as expected or talked about on Monday. We had a great trading session on Tuesday, followed by another good trading session Wednesday, and I wanted to walk through some of those setups or the setup for the day. So initially talking about the descending triangle that we had here on the E-mini S&P. The 2036.25 was kind of that launching point where we came down, we bounced once, came down again, formed a nice hammer, and then that was the bounce that broke the descending triangle. Now in the bigger picture, 2036 has a target at 2137s, so roughly 100 points here on the S&P. And as we kind of close out the week, we were very close to breaking that 2105.25 high that we will be looking for in the coming weeks. And so let's go to a 5-minute chart and talk about how we traded the setups during the week. So Monday, over here on the left, you can see very tight, choppy, not much going on. Typically, Mondays and Fridays are much slower, especially if we are going into a 3-day weekend like today. You can see today's price action Friday, very choppy and tight range as well, compared to the gap ups that we had Tuesday and Wednesday. And the significance about the gap ups are that they were occurring at the bottom of the breakout. So it wasn't as though we broke out, moved higher for 4 or 5 days, and then had a gap. It was a gap to initiate the move, and so what we had is a gap and go. And the way I like to trade these is simply by putting a, since it was a gap up, simply putting a buy stop above the high of the first 5-minute bar, and then just trailing every candle. So the way this setup on Tuesday worked is that we had a high of the first 5-minute candle of 59.50s. So it was just a matter of putting a buy stop at 59.75s, just one tick above highs. Then the next candle started to form and we broke through 59.75s. That triggered our entry with the initial 6-tick stop. The next candle was an inside bar, so I just left the stop at -6. The next candle broke the breakout candle's high. So in this case, there's not really much to do because your stop is at -6 already, but you can move your stop up underneath the next candle's low. So for example, when this candle here is broken, the high is broken, then I can take my stop from this candle and move it up underneath the next candle's low. So you're just trailing each candle's low, but you don't want to move your stop until the next candle breaks that candle's high. And so we continued higher. We had a little bit of a very slight consolidation moving sideways. We broke by one tick the low of this candle, but it happened so fast and moved back up that I didn't even have a chance to tighten my stop. So that was one of those situations where it worked out in our favor and we were able to stay in the trade. And then the next candle broke highs, and then same thing, kind of had a little bit of a consolidation, and that kind of kicked us out of the trade. On the potential reversal, we ended up going a little bit higher and then drifting sideways, but if you look at kind of the meat of the move, 59.75s up to 65.25s, that's a nice chunk of the move with just one entry, not having to get in and get out. And then the same thing occurred on Wednesday, where we gapped up once again. The first 5-minute candle closed, put a buy stop. The high was 83.25s, so putting the stop at 83.50s. And then once the next candle broke the previous candle, that triggered our entry with a -6 stop. and then just a matter of trailing the stop up as we move from candle to candle. And we did, so you'll notice that each candle makes a new high and does not break the previous candle's low. So that's the concept behind the trail stop method. And then up here we had a low of this candle of 90s, so the stop was at 89.75s. And you'll notice that once we broke that prior candle's low, the low of the high bar, we had a small pullback, and that kind of sent us into the lunch session by moving sideways. So, we're here to catch the meat of the move, and with using a trail stop, we're able to stay in the trade for, as long as the market will let us. So those are two great setups that we had this week, and the market is now on its way. We have clearly broke the downtrend line, clearly broke the prior swing high, the major one, and we're on our way higher. So we'll see what next week brings. I hope you all have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will talk to you on Tuesday.